we are the production team for Noble's Diplomacy Academy, and today we are going to do a narration for our first video, and this video is of me tutoring how to start as the Netherlands. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and we're going to have to wait a few seconds for the setup to finish. But the Netherlands is probably one of the most difficult countries to start as, and the vast majority of players absolutely hate starting here. So the goal of this video is to show people that the Netherlands really is not very difficult to play, and as long as you know what you're doing and you're very careful and precise, you can actually do very, very well. Alright, so the first thing I'm doing here is I'm moving buildings out of the way. I am building some SUVs so that I can move my command center, and you can see my Wraith moving. I am sniping that pylon in Belgium. Really easy, but be careful that your Wraiths don't fly too far south. You don't want them to get hit by the other cannons. I loaded those SUVs into an Overlord, and now I am landing a factory. And the ultimate goal there is to build some tanks. I have already started building Valkyries because one of the first objectives here is going to be taking this North Sea port right above me. Yeah. Alright, now I'm just moving a couple buildings out of the way, moving them south, because I'm going to use those to take the cities in Belgium instead of having to take an SUV down there and waste money building supply depots. Just floating buildings down there, it's easier, it's faster, and it guarantees that I can earn the income as quickly as possible. So now I am using these Wraiths to start destroying this command center, because as we all know, they have way too much hit points, and they take forever to destroy. So the sooner you can get to work on that, the better. And here comes my first tank, and it's very easy to snipe this pylon in southern Belgium. Again, you just have to be careful, watch what you're doing, keep control of your units, and as long as you do that, you shouldn't have any problems. I'm building a second tank just to speed up the process. More than that isn't really necessary. You're just putting more minerals into it, and really we're not going to be using tanks very long, just for the first 3, 4, maybe 5 turns of the game. I am also upgrading Protoss up in the upper left, and the reason I'm doing that, even though I don't have any Protoss specials right now, is because the ultimate goal with the Netherlands, for me, is to use a variety of Protoss specials for my army. And that generally includes German Archons, Belgian Dark Templars, and depending on which way you expand, you can also go for Belarus and Spain, or Spain, either one. It's kind of hard to get both, but it takes a long time, and you will probably encounter an enemy by the time you reach one of them. Here I go, bringing some of those buildings down because the defenses have all been destroyed or taken offline. Obviously I need to destroy the enemy buildings next to those cities in order to actually gain control of them. Now I'm bringing an Overlord down to Luxembourg so that I can snipe that missile launcher there. And I will do that as soon as some of these defenses are destroyed, because I want to take that income as soon as possible. I'm also building an academy. The reason for that is just so that I have access to the medics, which will give me the Dark Templars in Belgium. And there my Wraiths go, taking out that missile launcher, and I'm bringing that science lab down so that I can do the same thing I did in Belgium. Take that city as soon as possible. Also, I didn't mention this, but I did upgrade the air weapons for Terran air units, and it's always best to get at least one of those when you have the gas, and as Netherlands you do have the gas to do that. It just makes it a lot easier for your Valkyries to kill that seaport. I'm probably gonna go with oh, no, don't worry about it. Honestly, my strategies are just developed from playing the game way too much. I probably play this game almost exclusively for a couple of years while I was on StarCraft. So yeah, I have a lot of I do have a lot of experience starting with countries, winning, different matter. I don't always win games. I'm sorry. Yeah. Right. So down here in Belgium, I'm repairing my tank. You definitely want to keep your tanks repaired, building a couple more barracks. I usually keep it to 3. More than that, you run into the problem of not having enough space so that when your medics come out, they just stay medics and you have to move them around. That's just a pain in the butt, so you want to keep it to 3. Oh, there I go, taking that fort. I used my wraiths to help me out with that. The more units you have, the better. The faster you do it, the more units survive. I went with about 10 to 12 Valkyries and whatever wraiths remained. Hopefully you still have, 5, 6 leader wraiths. I'm also building a few more wraiths just so I can stock up and be ready to take the fort over here on the right as soon as possible. Now up here on the north edge of my defense line, I am dropping my two tanks. Again, you have to be really, really careful here. It's very difficult. You have to drop them in just the right place and keep really good control of your tanks. But that pylon there is very, very possible to snipe. You have to also be aware that there is that cannon, the German cannon on the border with Denmark, and that can also hit you if you take your tanks too far to the right. We should be on about turn 2, maybe turn 3 by now. Let me check. Yeah, we're on turn 2 right now. Yep. Alright, so down here with this gun pad, unfortunately I let my Dark Templars get a little too close, lost 1 or 2 of them. Not a huge deal, but, it's a mistake you should try to avoid. Yeah, we're only on turn 2 right now. So, almost the entire defense system in Germany is possible to snipe. There's only 1 cannon that you have to destroy with brute force, and we'll get to that in just a couple minutes. So right here, I'm just drawing those Archons towards my cannons with my tank, and I'm going to bring my tank to my cannons, and then I'm going to load it up into that Overlord and protect it from getting killed. And then I'm going to send my Dark Templars up, and the cannons take most of the damage, and you don't lose any units, and that's really the goal right now, is to keep as many units as you possibly can. So, we're going to set up the same trap again. And set up the same trap again for this last Archon. No point taking any chances. And be sure when you do this that you have your Overlord ready next to your cannons, because it's very easy for that tank to get trapped, and you really want to keep those for as long as possible. Thank you. Alright, so now I'm going to start... Sorry, go ahead. Alright, so here I'm just sniping away at this pylon that is defending Berlin. I have Dark Templars ready to take out the